Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Netherkast. I'm your host, Razor. This is episode 124, and with me are Shad, Django, and Smokeman. No intro. Aftermath is out. It's a lot of content to talk about. This could be like a 4-hour episode, so I kind of just want to get into it.
Alright, fair warning. If that's the case, I'm taking piss and smoke breaks.
It's not going to be 4 hours, maybe 3.5.
It's going to be 4 hours.
Oh boy.
Alright, well, we kind of plotted out a schedule of how we want to talk about it. So, characters first. Let's talk about... Well, no, first let's talk about the winner of the contest we had on Discord to come up with Fujin variation names.
There we go.
Yeah, so the prize for the contest is a free digital code for MK Legends Scorpion's Revenge. But if you are the winner and you already have the movie, let us know and we'll try to work out an alternate prize.
Or if you just hate the movie, like...
Just shut the fuck up if you hate the movie. Get off my Discord.
Really?
If you don't want the prize, we can work with you. It's fine. There's some good ideas.
If that does turn out to be the case, I'm more than happy to give away the digital code to the second placed finalist. Or
Alright.
third. And so
So,
on.
Django, you organized the event. Would you like to read out the results?
Sure, yes. The way the judging went down was I took the results. I did not judge because I knew the entrants, of course. That wouldn't be fair because I might be biased. I'm not, but I might be. So I delivered the entries to these guys and also temporary username, and they judged based on a blind pick.
Yeah, we
So
didn't
have
know
absolutely
who's...
no knowledge of who submitted what.
Yeah.
So no being bitches and thinking about bias, because that was me. I was the meat shield for bias. Let me pull the... Yep, okay. The winner of Name That Fujin, the winning submission for Name That Fujin is Aeolian Rhapsody. It was surprisingly decisive. Now, if you need that name explained, it's a good one. It is a good one. It is a good one.
It has layers like an onion.
It does. You can peel this thing back.
No, who submitted that one?
Hold on. Just listen. We'll get there, along with the other one. But
He's got a process. Give it a moment.
Aeolian Rhapsody.
Right. I'll wait for the loading screen.
Listen, Aeolian Rhapsody, obviously Aeolian comes from, maybe not obviously, comes from the musical scale, the minor scale, which I was familiar with immediately, but I myself was like, where's the Fujin context, right? Where's the wind? We found the wind. The wind comes from the name Aeolian, also meaning wind rising, and having that sort of context, so it has layers like an onion. And it's just pretty. It's also pretty, right? It's the yeah, that one. It was easy. The runner-up we didn't really do a second place and third place necessarily. We just did the runner-ups because the other ones the judges picked. Let me scroll up. I listed them. They were great. We'd like to say a good GG's to Aerial Rave, Pockets Doom, Bladed Wind, and Divine Chime Time.
You know, Aerial Rave was the only Devil May Cry reference. I was surprised we didn't get more.
I actually took that as like a general Marvel vs. Capcom reference. That's kind of an old term.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know. I just expected a lot more, like, Virgil jokes, and we didn't really get any.
I expected more just puns and stuff like that in general. Like, I was expecting there to be, like, you know, Well, I mean, listen. I'm not gonna insult anyone, but like, I was expecting a lot of punny stuff, like a lot of interestier stuff, which isn't bad necessarily. But people were interesting and eclectic in their submissions. It was, By the way, our winner is the Raging Arbuckle Cometh with Aeolian Rhapsody.
He is not in the live recording, so
I will have to talk to him privately. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Who else was on that list? Ariel Rabe came to us by way of... Where the hell are you? Benevolent Sun. For that one, Pockets Doom came from us from... I know who that was. That was... their name on the Discord is Miserable Slut.
Called it. Fucking called it. I knew that was him.
/$500 sunglasses. I believe they're the same person, right?
Yes, they are. They are.
Indeed.
Well, he's called Miserable Slut because he lost a bet or something in the Shadow Priest chat. And
it's a reference, right, to Mortal Kombat Conquest.
That's what Quan Chi calls his women in the Conquest show.
Yeah.
You know, his Kia Jitaka Serena types.
His profile is also fitting as well.
In fact, on the Discord, we've adapted the phrase "miserable slut" as the official job title of woman who works for Quan Chi. Like,
yes.
When we talk about the lore, we always refer to them as the miserable sluts.
I mean, that's what he calls them. You know? Who else was on there? Bladed Wind. Bladed Wind came from B. Radbrad. And Divine Chime Time. Divine Chime Time came from Rain Rep. Rain Rep Time.
Oh, nice.
Were there any surprises in there? Did you guys figure those?
I did not figure that out, no.
Oh, well, you guys are lame. But good job to all of you guys. Let me make sure that the winner didn't pop in here. I don't see them. So I'll talk to them privately. And I'll talk to whomever privately too, if you want, I guess.
So message me if you are interested in your Scorpion's Revenge digital code, and I'll be happy to send it to you along with optional nude pictures. Your choice.
Very generous.
I didn't say they were of me.
That raises even more questions.
Now I'm pouring the shot, Chad.
I didn't say they didn't belong to anyone in this chat.
I thought about it for a minute. That's hot. I was gonna ask, since obviously none of us could participate in the game, did you guys have any Fujin variation names that you, the hosts, were proud of that you're using?
So the main one I'm using is called God of Wuxia, because I really fucking love that Crouching Tiger intro where he comes spinning in sword first.
Mm-hmm. Mine is a reference. So if you guys remember, in MK4, they all had joke bios. Like, let me see if I can get up Fujin's here.
Oh yeah, the one where it says Liu Kang is just a generally nice guy. He donates to local charities.
Yeah, there's one for Fujin that I made. I got to get up here so I can read it off here.
What about you, Shad, in the meantime?
I named mine in the interim True Brother, because, you know, MK Annihilation kind of did that thing that we all hated and despised, and then MKDC thought it was true, and no. So, Fujin being Blitzen, Raiden's official brother in this game is a really nice thing to me, so...
Yeah, you have to be from the same realm to be brothers.
We'll get into more of Fujin here, but regarding my variation name, it's a reference to this bio here. That's a joke. I'll read it off here. In this bio, he's only called Wind God, by the way, not Fujin. So, Wind God was always embarrassed because his mom made him wear his hair in a ponytail. Now he's got quite an attitude.
So what's your variation name?
Quite an attitude.
Ah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, does that fit?
I have to get rid of a T.
You miserable slut.
Fuck you.
So is it quite an attitude?
Yeah, I'd rather take out the spaces than remove a letter and make it misspelled.
Maybe, yeah. Well, actually, I may already have to do that. Let me check.
I had to intentionally rename my MK9 Scorpion Coverdan Scorpions.
I mean, I butchered Kick Your Jets and Jam so fucking hard, man. Like...
I think the only Fujin variation names that I'm using at the moment, because I'm naming them the competitive ones just so I can keep them straight, because I don't know what the fuck is in which one yet. I'm learning, but the custom ones that I'm using are Anti-Air and Shania Twain, which might be a deep cut. But I'm not going to explain it.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think they got it.
Okay, good.
You know what? For the people who don't get it, they're going to look it up.
Do
that
it.
you force them to do so is how you win.
Wait. Repeat that. What was the one?
Shania Twain?
Shania Twain. I don't get that. I'm gonna lose here. Hold on.
See, that's what I thought would happen, because it's a 90s thing. It's a hella 90s thing. So
all the best
a bad
things are
90s thing, incidentally. A very irritating 90s thing.
Fujin himself
were
is a
there.
90s thing. This is the time.
he was. It was a.
Oh, you! It's a singer. Gross.
That's the end of the
Wait,
reference.
You didn't even know who Shania Twain is?
How do you not know who she is, dude? She was hot.
Eh.
No.
You know what? He's a little kid. It's whatever.
Oh my
We're losing people.
dude.
you.
Shania Twain was fucking hot. And that's not the end of the reference. It goes more.
Okay.
But you guys can figure that out on your own, okay? That's the end of the
Yeah,
game.
there's a rabbit hole there.
There is.
Jesus.
Thank you, everybody, for playing Name That Fujin. And the Raging Arbuckle cometh with Alien Rhapsody, the grand prize winner. You can get with me or whomever, and we'll figure it out. And we'll get you taken care of. GG's, sir. And GG's the runner-ups.
Also, far too many of you selected Breaking Wind, or some variation thereof, as a name. I'm disappointed
Yeah, I
in
was-
you.
I was
Don't
disappointed in the fart jokes. I'm
Too easy.
all of you see me after class.
I mean, Interested that, too. One of the presets in there, in the variations, like, you can pick it. It's not one of the competitive ones, but it's one of the presets is Breaking Wind.
No.
Yeah, I expect it from Ed though. Like
Yeah.
he's dumb, you know.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, he has that dad humor thing going. Like, you know what's funny? Farts.
Haha, stinky.
You got it.
Yep.
Funny farties.
So how about that Wind God? Next topic.
Yes, let's talk about the character now.
So this is like fucking 9 years of waiting for this fucking character.
9?
I would say more than that because Fujin was not good in Armageddon.
Well, I say 9 because I started at 9, so...
That's fair.
Was he? But he. Wait, Armageddon wasn't 9 years ago, though, was it?
No, it was like 11.
I thought it was 14.
11.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
though.
It is
Okay,
14.
wait. It was
The marketing all said 14.
2006. So yeah, 14.
14.
I was thinking 2008 or 9 for some reason.
With all the fucking, like,
God, that's so long
jokes
ago.
and teases his fucking name in the clouds in the deception menu.
Oh, I
his
remember
name-
that one. Don't.
His
Yeah.
name being something that the announcer said in the files of 9.
In 9, yeah. The super
The
unlockables, boy.
The Cassie friendship. Fuck you, Ed. I just unlocked him, bitch.
He's been a long time teased and a long time
And-
coming.
It's really nice because it's like they know because that was a marketing strategy. It's like, dude, look, this fucker's back. and it's so fucking nice to see. Like when I watch, I think I just clicked on like a rando fucking streamer. I didn't know who it was, and like everything that Fujin did, he got so fucking hyped over, and like he has had a history of being called a shitty Kung Lao because of a tornado spin, and in that video he called him a better Kung Lao, so that's cathartic for me.
You know, unlike all the Instagrams and the Twitters and whatnot, I'm seeing like people who had to have been babies or toddlers or like at the most young high school students the last time Fujin was in a game. And there's just so much hype among the younger MK generation for him. And it's kind of a really heartwarming thing to see. It's very nice.
Wasn't that surprising? Like, that surprised me so much when I was watching those reactions. And, you know, there's no shortage of reactions. And you get people that will react to anything just for reacting, right? And a lot of them are just, like, you know, gamer grills, especially, boy. They can fucking reel them in, and as they should. GG's to you guys. And they're watching it, right? And it's like, you know, you probably don't know exactly what it is that you're doing a lot of the time, you're reacting to a lot of the time, which is fine. But surprisingly, like, a lot of them were like, damn, is that Fujin? Like, you know, like, shit. Like, you know, and it's like, how do you know who Fujin is?
Oh, it's like an airbender. Cool.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, and the people that didn't know, if, like, yo, what's up? Is that Fujin? Like, even those people that didn't know, they're like, oh, he's fucking sick for a number of reasons, like the airbender thing. Like, he looks sick, right? Oh, his voice is tight. Look at that fucking hair, dude. Oh, he's hot. There's so much Fujin is hot out there.
He is very anime, and that's fucking awesome.
He really is, like, and that's, you know, there's a huge audience for that, and he's like, there's not a lot of characters in MK, surprisingly, considering the Asian influence, that really feel anime. So it's nice to have one.
It is.
And the thing that I like is that hopefully all these people who are just now meeting Fujin for the first time will understand why we don't just like Fujin. We like him better than Raiden.
We really fucking do.
Raiden needs to go away.
Okay. Take it easy.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
We wanted to take Raiden's place as Earthrealm's protector, because Raiden's historically kind of done an iffy job at best of it.
Well, it's so for the past 3 games, Raiden's been dumb.
Likeable.
But Raiden's been boring even longer than that.
He has, and
just inherently likable. He's fun.
Yeah, he is. And there's also the deal where, like, you know, in the transition between the Tobias era into the 3D era, like, there was the weird thing where, like, Fujin was gonna become, like, he was gonna take Raiden's spot, and then when MK Deadly Alliance came out, like, it just didn't happen for some reason.
Yeah, they chickened out.
Basically.
And that's not good.
The thing is, like, even the story mode of this game is explicitly going, Fujin is a more interesting person than Raiden is. He has more personality, he's more like a human being.
They gave him the personality I always really kind of wanted Raiden to have.
Yeah, and that's the ironic thing, is that they explicitly... So Fujin specifically says in story mode that he has lived among the humans, and that Raiden disagreed with him doing it and told him that he should keep his distance from them to not impair his judgment. Well, in the old timeline, when Tobias was writing, Mythology's backstory specifically states the reason Raiden was chosen to be the protector of Earthrealm over the other gods of Earthrealm, like Fujin, is because Raiden likes the humans the most. So this really is the personality Raiden is supposed to have, and they're finally, like, giving it to somebody? It's not Raiden, but it's somebody.
It's the best possible candidate.
That's the thing, right? Because it really when that happened in story mode, I was, like, kind of taken aback, because there's 2 problems with it. One is what you just said. This is it's supposed to be Raiden's. But number 2 is, this is what's wrong with Richard Epcar Raiden. Like, I totally believe that this asshole would say that. And the only way to fix it is to recast Raiden. Because even if
Raiden and write him differently, like it's
that's what I was gonna fucking say. Is even if they write him differently, Epcar, and they don't recast him, it's still gonna be Epcar voicing, and I'm still gonna go. You're the guy who tried to sell the souls of the Quan Chi, man. Like,
it's like I don't want to like shit on Epcar because he's a nice guy and he clearly enjoys the role. But look, I've heard him in a bunch of anime dubs, and he always does the same voice. He's just really stiff.
He does the same voice, like, in between lines.
Did you
the
like
same role?
Did you like? I really liked whenever Fujin was telling that story you're talking about. Like he did his Fujin he did his Raiden impression. He's like, "Don't go out there, Fujin. Don't get too attached, Fujin. They won't like it, Fujin." Like it was really tense.
Dude, the mortals are not that fucking cool, kid. Fucking get over them already. God.
It wasn't even that interesting, though. That's the thing. It was Raiden. It was like a really boring version of "Don't do it, Fujin." Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. Good job, Fujin. Thank you for saying what we've been picking up.
I fucking love this character. What do you guys think is his best costume?
Spoilers, by the way.
That's a difficult question because
I don't feel like there's been enough time for me to explore all of them properly.
I kind of have a problem with the shaders, where the story mode costume is really the only one in the game that properly has like a decent looking black top with green pants and red and gold trim.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are other ones with like mostly green that sometimes are too green, or they, the red is in a weird place, or like they don't have the black, or like he has a whole set where he's wearing the skin tight closed neck top that I don't really like.
The Under Armour skin?
And obviously, like the Mythologies one with the short Virgil hair has almost no color schemes where you get green pants and a red cape.
You're right.
There's only one, and it makes his top dark brown instead of black, which is fine. Like, I'm going to use it, but...
Do you have that yet?
It bothers me a little that there's not a perfect color scheme version of every skin.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple.
Far from a new problem.
I do like... I think my two favorite are probably the primary and the story mode costume. I'm surprised how good Fujin looks in all white.
Thing I'm not crazy about is like the glowing tattoos. I'm not wild about that aesthetic on anyone, not just
take
Fujin.
it or leave it. I mean,
yeah, I don't really need.
I
don't hate the tattoos, but I don't think they're necessary.
No, they don't really add a whole lot.
It's a problem I've had with Quan Chi, even in like X, when the variation made his glow. I just think it's aesthetically unpleasing.
So here's the thing. I feel like if a god is going to have tattoos, they should glow. I just don't feel like gods should get inked at all. It seems like a weird thing to do.
It is
maybe it's a different
thing.
culture thing. Like maybe tattoos mean something different in China and Japan than they do to me. I don't know.
It was weird. That's why I said that thing about Liu Kang whenever he came out. Like I'm like, I could see that happening with Fujin, but I like Liu Kang's God Liu Kang's version of it better than Fujin's MK4 tattoos, which just look like kind of like tribally and stuff like that. I don't mind Fujin's tattoo in his story mode primary. It's like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's there. It's not that big.
It's also like supposed to be like it's like a variation of the kanji that's on his back in 4, but it's kind of different.
Well, so I actually looked that up. The kanji on his back in 4 is for the word, I think it was sky.
I believe that's it.
Yeah, and the tattoo on his arm in story mode in this game is the one for wind.
Okay.
So it's technically the more accurate kanji in this game. Like, I don't know why they used sky in 4 instead of wind.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some there's some sky gods. That one that I posted, by the way,
obviously, like Raiden's logo that he's had on his yellow patches on his arms since forever is thunder or lightning. It's the right one.
Which is appropriate, yeah. The skin and shader I posted in casual is the one that I use the most. It reminds me the most of his Armageddon look, which is controversial. I don't know, or divisive. I don't know. Everyone loves that one. I dug that one. Okay.
I don't know. I just thought it looked weird because like it was something about his hair. Like I don't like his hair is similar in this game, but it doesn't have the short bangs. Like the loose parts go all the way down to his chin, and that looks way better to me.
It does. It looks more natural, I guess. Like I didn't mind the bangs, but this version is good. It's a good combination.
The hair in Armageddon was kind of a mullet pulled into a braid. That's why it bothered me.
I could see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this version is more of a I don't know, like I also didn't love like the super pulled back tight version from MK4. I didn't hate it. It was good. Like I still liked it.
I like it pulled back tight, but in MK4 he kind of has a receding hairline. That's the problem with that.
That's true too. And I think they actually for that hairstyle, the long hairstyle, they hit a really good balance in this game.
Yeah, I like an objective improvement a lot. Like it took a little bit to grow on me because I liked him in X so much, but I do like his hair in this game.
It animates well too.
I haven't had too much time to thoroughly mess around with a lot of costumes. For now, I'm using a default and one with kind of light blue pants, kind of going back and forth between the two.
Yeah. So
but there's nothing I've thoroughly disliked. We'll see.
So, move-wise, I fucking love how he can run on the fucking air.
I mean, yeah.
Skywalker's so good.
Have you fought the AI using it?
Oh my god, it's awful. It's so
the
terrible.
AI doesn't know what it's doing.
It doesn't.
It
doesn't know how to like not. It doesn't know how to stop running.
Yeah, it doesn't dive kick or like go back with the sword or fucking.
It's like, okay, man, run the clock. Do what you gotta do. I'm down here.
Fujin's fucking tower AI is so garbage. If you equip that move, it's so trash.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't recommend having that move equipped on your AI.
If you equip that one or the float,
it's so good.
Don't do the float. Don't do the float on your AI because it'll float all day long and just stay there and wait to get hit.
See,
one thing I love about the Skywalker move is that it kind of combines two MK4 moves. It gives him the dive kick, and if you meter burn it, he gets the knee.
The knee that D4 loved so much in that reaction.
The knee!
The knee! He's got the knee!
It's a good knee.
It is a good knee.
I enjoy the fact that he's got like an aerial catch and slam.
Oh,
it has to be in the air for it to hit. Like your opponent has to be in the air for it to hit.
Yeah, it's hard.
Not just that. Fucking Ermac Mark II. So I enjoy that highly.
What I love about that is that is like his the wind lift. That was his like lamest fucking move in MK4, where you have it didn't even like launch properly. It just like
yeah, it was just like a really slow
tornado. A tornado underneath, and then you had to put another input to have them slam them on the ground. So they reversed it, and where the anti-air thing, and then you meter burn it, and you like kind of like fucking does this shit with his arms, just like whirring it around and launches him into fucking space. And it's like that's
stirring the pasta.
Yeah,
exactly. It's churning the fucking butter, man.
Churn that butter.
Like that's like the coolest fucking thing I've seen is taken from like his shittiest MK4 move.
They did a really good job. I'm just
the crossbow.
Yes, for years, debating with people online how Fujin should play if they ever bring him back. I am just so happy. They didn't just bring back the crossbow. They brought back the diagonal shots.
Yeah, the zigzag shit.
I never would have dreamed they'd do it.
Not only that,
it is as glorious as I could have ever imagined.
Not only that, but not only his brutalities. Both MK4 fatalities are brutals in this game, and they're great.
That's true, and they're the easy ones too. They're the ones based on his throws.
Yep, and the best thing that I pray to fucking God was included that I did not think I would get. They included his MK4 win pose as a brutal win pose.
Yeah, I love that.
Fucking verbatim. It's so fucking good.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think there's been a single person apart from Fujin kind of noob, maybe, that actually went forward to have their MK4 weapon become part of their default setup.
Well,
I know that, like, you know, in Armageddon he had a big fuck-off sword or whatever the hell it was.
Big fuck-off sword
It was supposed to
indeed.
be Reiko's, and some
Or-
shit happened in development.
Like,
in 4, his wasn't a sickle; it was an actual Grim Reaper scythe. In Shaolin
Yeah.
Monks, they had the sickles, and it looks exactly like in that game.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's why I said kind of noob, maybe.
I had to
But as-
actually there, yeah. Sorry.
But as for Fujin, though, it's so messed up because, like, that crossbow was so fucking weird. It was like the biggest eyesore, firing these giant, like, oval energy blasts. And you know how the MK4 weapon system worked. If you get touched on your nose once, you drop it. And it depends who you ask. Either Fujin's was the worst one in the game or the best. I personally
For me,
just
it was
thought
the best.
terrible. I thought it was a terrible weapon. Like, I thought that Noob Scythe and whatnot was like ones that acted like that and Sub's Ice Wand were a lot better.
I've always loved the crossbow. It was my favorite thing about Fujin in those days.
There's something about it that really does suit the character more than any other MK4 weapon suited their own. Apart from
Yeah, see, like the thing of it is, like the fact that Raiden has a staff establishes that gods have weapons as part of their like god whatever kit the Elder Gods gave them. You know, like your powers are thunder and having a staff. Your powers are wind and having. And I like that it's a projectile weapon for the wind god. You know, like when you think of wind, you don't really think of like a sword or a hammer or a mace or something. Like a projectile weapon makes sense to me with the element.
That said, the sword they gave him in the game, they made it work really well with his windness.
Yeah,
okay.
like the fact that he does all these Crouching Tiger, like just the general like Shaw Brothers wuxia,
Yeah.
like flying with the sword, standing on the tip of the sword. It's genius. Like I never would have thought of that myself, and it fits so well.
It's
They
getting.
really went all out with them. It's beautiful.
It's a little bit Kenshi for me. Like
There's
I
a-
feel
there is
like
a
the move the string where he's like having it whirl all around, like that's fine, but like there's like his fatal blow, which is okay. Like it's just kind of floating there, like it's just telekinesis, or he's like taking it out of the scabbard, like it's telekinesis. Like it's getting, it's a little bit Kenshi for me.
I've never really, like, as long as two people do different things with the same power, it's never bothered me that they have the same power. Like, I've never been one of those guys who was like, Kenshi and Ermac shouldn't be in the same game. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm fine with it. I mean, yes, when Kenshi comes back, he should totally be doing these kinds of things too. But Kenshi's not in this game, and I don't see him coming, so...
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can do with telekinesis that I'd rather he not have
Well,
Max moves.
there's-
It's fine to put them in the same game, just give us some variation.
That's a discussion for when we go to another character.
Another time.
But another character this podcast. But yeah, moving on.
Also,
Anything else to say about Fujin? Or
yes.
well, good.
The glowing arrows during the fatal blow are so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
They're just comforting to look at. I don't know what it is.
I take it's
Try
me
again.
and I'm doing head. Well, I'm thinking about this shit because it's new. It's new lore, and I'm like putting like where do I want to put this in my brain? And after playing through the story mode and him doing the whole living with humans thing, I kind of relate that to his using the weapons that he does as being like they are not like a Raiden type thing where it is just like a god staff kind of simple idea. He has like a fucking crossbow, which is really not a weapon you would associate with a god. And the sword as well, the Kusanagi, which has its own like Japanese lore. It's a mythic sword if you go and check it out. It's really interesting, and again, like to me that kind of works well for what they wanted to do with him going out and living amongst people, and that's what I kind of attributed that to.
Well, I always like assumed that their weapons were gifts from the mortals that they enchanted.
I mean, it could be.
How fucking
Like-
satisfying is that crushing blow after the slide?
It's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Oh, couldn't touch you. There it is.
Getting that after the lift and chuck up into space move is really, really good. That takes some work to get the timing right, but it's really good.
Like, I enjoy the fact that the first hit is supposed to miss, because it just feels like he's creeping in there to crush your ribcage. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about his voice actor?
His voice is see with his voice actor in X, which is Troy Baker. I always got a sense of like he's too old. Like, oh, we will deal with it later, Kenshi. Where are my pills?
He does
Like
sound a
it
little.
sounded
he did,
way too geriatric for me.
I don't know.
So,
I felt like he was going for like an airy, whispery like.
Well,
Yeah.
now it sounds like he's out of breath.
Like if you imagine how a guy whose powers are wind would sound, it's kind of like his voice is being carried on the wind, so he doesn't have to like be loud.
Maybe.
I think it works better
you're right.
this way. I do. It's like a gentle breeze slowly caressing your ears. It's a nice voice.
I mean, the voice in this game is a lot better than Baker did in X. I don't dislike Baker in X.
That's how I felt. I think it is a better version of the same concept.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job there.
Is this where we talk about arcade endings? Do we do that for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Fujin's arcade ending is the best in the video game.
It's crazy.
Fujin is literally Jesus.
He
That's
is.
canon now.
He is literally
fucking-
Jesus.
Dude, he fucking made sure he knew the plight of Tarkatans, and he still had the bomb ass hair.
He lives the lives of everyone. He's compassion incarnate.
Yeah, he goes through a cycle of reincarnating as literally every species, race, gender, etc. that there is, so
Throughout
that he
the
can
realms.
understand what it's like to be everybody in the universe.
Yeah, not just Earth Realm, all the realms.
Bless him.
And then he's like, now that I have this knowledge, I can craft a future that is good for everybody. And then there's a shot of him at the Last Supper in Shang's throne room with the other characters.
It's great.
I have to go back and like take note of who is in whose position. I have to see who's in Judas' spot. I really do.
You know what? Shang is in that shot. I think he's standing in the Judas place.
Well played. Very
checks
well
out.
played.
I also really love there's like moves he has where it's this forward 2 where he makes 2 wind currents collide on your ribs. It's great.
Yeah, that move is really fun. Smash that shit, and then you can suckle them in with a tornado after that.
Yeah, and I love how he doesn't look when he kicks them, or meter burn stabs and then kicks them.
Yeah. And the forward throw where he takes your breath away, like which fucking Django called. Django called that shit.
I forgot about that, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. I did call that shit. Actually, I didn't call it, but I wanted it. Like, that's what I would have done.
Be smug.
And I just love the fucking the fucking Tatsu.
The Tatsu,
The fucking air, the air wind kicks. Which I feel is like a replacement of the knee, but it's fine because the knee is still in there with the Skywalker.
He taught it to Bo, who taught it to Kung Lao, who's the fucking second generation bitch now. Yeah. Because that's what it is.
Oh, and also shout outs to the effects department for Fujin, because I think that shit is like really make or break for this character. Like, that's something that I always worried about. With
it is
stuff.
difficult to make the wind look powerful and painful, and like they did a good job with it.
They did.
I also love all the wind or the leaves that he kicks.
Yeah,
up.
all the leaves blowing around is a really nice touch.
It is. It brings
It's
you
like-
back to
it's not-
mythologies.
It's not the first time that they had that in Mythologies, and they had that on Su Hao's clap in Deadly Alliance, his Hulk clap.
Hell yeah.
But it looked like he was actually generating a dirty storm. This is something of an improvement.
Yeah, there were like loose twigs in Su Hao's too.
Man, yeah, like that shit, like that stuff is really needed to push this character. above your Kenshis and your Ermacs. Like, this is a god. Like, you know, the shit has to go on that's more to elevate him. Like, he can't just be, like, spinning up a tornado like Katana whenever she fan lifts somebody and shit like that.
Well, Katana's ripping Fujin off, man. She didn't get that till the last game. That's
She
always
is.
been like a blue
She's
wave.
always had the fan lift. That's
She has had the fan lift, yeah, but just the spinning
but
of the tornado and whatnot.
It never had the tornado graphic
true,
until
that's
X.
true. Like,
Um,
I do wish they'd animate it more as her like
Yeah, the rotating upward
pushing wind by waving the fan back and forth instead of the tornado.
and the
There's something
trouble.
really unsatisfying about it. I don't like it.
It is weird. Like, and the trouble with that is because Fujin has been gone so long that can become Katana's thing. Because, you know, you just haven't seen it. So it's like, oh, he's doing Katana's thing, which obviously isn't the case. But they got around all that with this game with awesome effects. The sound effects are really fucking good.
Oh yeah, the wind sound effects.
The sound effects, like, just they're concussive, but they're still like they sound gentle and windy too. Like, it's really interesting. Whenever you pop someone with that fucking wind push, pop, pop, like, it sounds really tight. But the wind itself also sounds a lot like the Mythology's wind did to me. Like, it sounds cool and relaxing, but still powerful. Like, really good job with that. With the effects in general, I think really kind of made this character, elevated this character. He already had so much shit going on, but, like, yeah, just seeing him move around with the wind moving with him and the leaves and all that, like, and the sound, really good job there.
It's nice when you do something right, isn't it?
See, and they say we're negative. Nothing but praise from us for Fujin. Amazing all the way around. We love him. Welcome back, you beautiful bastard. We've missed you.
He is
He
pretty,
better
dude.
stay. He needs to come back in the next game.
Look, I hope, I so hope that this is like, look how many people love what you did with this guy. Please put him in the next fucking game too. Like, make him a standard. You know, just keep using him because he deserves it. He's so good.
And I mean, man, he made such a big splash that it's like the chances are so good that, like, now he's had such a great opportunity to make new fans and to people to be like, we want more Fujin now, like, so they can get this more. And it's not that thing that Ed said on Twitter, I think, or somewhere, where it's like, I'm not sure people will even remember who Fujin is, like, whatever. It's like, fuck that's gone, that's dead. This dude made a giant splash.
The man has no faith in his fan base. He really doesn't. He does not understand the depth and the frightening, borderline unstable loyalty some of us have to this little
I mean,
game series.
they've always undersold. Like, they talk about the 3D era like it was unsuccessful. Those games were all extremely good sellers for their day.
They were.
Like, they outsold the Tekkens.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
Sheeva?
Sheeva.
Yeah, let's get to
Sheeva.
You know what?
So,
I like Sheeva more than I thought I was gonna.
I mean,
There's a balance
so
that they hit.
when a year ago when it was leaked that she was going to be DLC, I got really excited because Sheeva has always been a character that's only been in the everybody's in games, the trilogies, the Armageddons, the MK9s. She's always been an obligation pick. She's never been one where the devs picked her because they thought they had something really good for her that'd make her unique or something like that.
So she's the T-Hawk then.
Yeah, but I don't think in this game I don't think she's unique enough. Like, there's a lot of Goro in this shit. Like, she's doing like the flexes and the punch walks, man. Like,
She's unique in that there's an absence of Goro, so she's a
I don't mind her having the punch walk because it's like the beginning of her super. So,
well,
it's
that's
not like
the thing. It still bothers me because it's still like, oh, remember Goro? We really actually want to Goro in this game, but we already had the model, so whatever.
I mean, he is, like, easily the most iconic Shogun, and Shoguns, like, in general, they kind of felt like they have a style and whatnot, like, and she deviates a bit with her fire usage and stuff like that.
This is not the first time she's...
Like, the problem was never that, like, Kentaro or Sheeva don't have original moves. It's that Goro keeps stealing them.
Mm-hmm. Like, I agree that Goro should just have a fucking move, like, redesigned from the ground up, but with Sheeva, like, they all still feel like they're fighting the same way.
The teleport stomp is a Kintaro thing.
I don't agree with the whole philosophy of, oh, they're Shokan, they fight like Shokan. That's not good enough for me. This is how Goro fights. This is how Kintaro fights. This is how Sheeva fights. There needs to be, like, the Shokan can't just have only one martial art, which is just boom, pow, fucking slamming on the ground.
I actually kind of disagree with you a little bit, more than usual, because, like, Kintaro would, do the teleport stomp, which, yes, Sheeva stole. Goro would kind of leap forward at you and then jump up and down on you. Yes, they all have that in common. But I don't think that there's been one that's walked across you bit by bit yet. That's new. That's a little new. I get what you mean in terms of, like, there should be a little bit less brute force use, but I think that she does have a little bit of the MK3 Sheeva grace in her. Like, my go-to combo is the forward 4, 4, and 3 roundhouse kick combo. I love it. It comes out so fast. It's satisfying. It's a lot of fun to use.
And that's not to say that I don't like her forward throw. I really fucking love that animation. But
I think for me, like, you can't... You still have to have the character's moves from MK3. Like, I wouldn't really be satisfied with Sheeva if she didn't teleport stomp.
I don't know. I always say get rid of the teleport stomp, keep that a Kintaro thing, and give her a cheetah leap.
The problem is Kintaro is like a D-class character to me. He's never going to be, as much as I wish otherwise, in a core base roster, or as anything other than like an unplayable sub boss.
Yeah, Kintaro is more of an obligation pick than Sheeva is.
That's so
true.
To me, like, I don't have as much of a strong opinion about her moveset, other than, like, I would want to just, like, I would separate stuff more, like, as far as the lore goes, where, like, Kintaro would have a much different fighting style than a Goro and a Sheeva because of the different class situation and how that might affect them as whatnot. And I also don't think that Sheeva probably doesn't have the same animosity towards Goro as someone like Kintaro might. So, Goro was the best fighter in Mortal Kombat before Liu Kang showed up. Like, he was the top fucking fighter, and that doesn't get talked about. Stop it, Randy. And that's a big deal. That's saying a lot. And so, like, I totally get, especially someone like Sheeva, who is of the dragon heritage and whatnot, not just, like, honoring his fighting style, but being like, he was a really fucking good fighter, and there's shit to keep from that because it's really good. But definitely doing her own version of it.
It's sort of like how every single person who gets into MMA just does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because they watch other MMA guys and see that that's what works. You know?
Like, see, you could maybe do that, but, like, she's doing, like, Goro's fucking wind poses, man. Like, that's not cool.
That's the one thing that bothers me. Like, she
doesn't even have the MK3 bow. She has a bow. No.
They animated it differently, but it is like a version of it.
They did it wrong, is what you're saying.
I kind of like that new version of the bow, but I do wish it was her actual, like, wind pose she does more often than her.
They did fucking Fujin's MK4 wind pose, man. Like, they can do things right.
I feel like they might have wanted to, like, show her face more. So they didn't want to end it with her head down. They wanted to end it with her head up.
I mean, I'm not saying that it needs to end with it. I just want her to do the palm, like, bow, as well as the top arms, like, outspreading. And then she can, like, fucking lift her torso back up. She did it at 9.
But all this being said, she seems pretty strong in this game, and her command grab, like, proclivity, her big emphasis on her command grabs, which is pretty different for the Shokans, I feel, so far. at least as much, like I said, emphasized as she is, it is something new and fresh for her. And man, they're pretty buff, dude. They're pretty buff.
I really enjoy the new variation on the fireball.
Yeah, I love
them one by one out from each hand, and the amplified version is the big ass MK3 fireball. That's
if you hold down when you amplify, you can do like a fiery ground pound too.
Beautiful.
I really like. That's my favorite. Like, yeah, she's a command grab character, but my favorite thing is the fireball stance.
It is cool.
She looks badass holding like one pillar of fire in each hand, like say, a god of destruction almost.
Also, you know what? Like, I expected to be disappointed with her costumes because we saw that one that is supposed to be like the remake of her MK3, and it's like this wide robe thing that looks kind of like Annihilation, what she wore. But she actually she has other skins that are closer to the slingshot bikini.
I was gonna say like that.
She
that's
has one that's kind of Armageddon-y. Like, I actually think she has several good skins.
No, I agree with
I'm not a big fan of like the expanded take on the MK3 V slingshot thing. It looks too weirdly bulky.
Yeah,
but there's one of the ones she gets pretty early on, or like she starts out. I don't know. Like, there's a variation that looks more like that, with like extra wraps and whatnot and miscellaneous stuff, and that's my default for now.
Yeah, that's my default too. I have that. Yeah. I did make a variation for the bulky robe, which I called "The Date's Over" because of course.
I named that first.
And then
how many people called "There's the Date's Over"? Raise your hands.
It's probably most of us.
Let me know how many dates over you spot online.
Yeah,
I want figures. Give me pictures.
I'm surprised that's not one of the default ones that the game came with, because you will die.
It's for Sindel.
Also, like, I expected... This is a complaint. I expected her to have more headgear that was different hairstyles.
Oh, dude.
She only has, like, the default mohawk, the weird bun thing, and then nothing but helmets.
Look,
what
man.
the fuck? All the helmets look bad. Give me more hair.
All of her gear is worthless. Like, the superfluous Wonder Woman shield, that's all just generic video game designs. Like, there's not one Shokan logo.
Yeah, there are no Shokan logos. That's so weird.
Not one yin yang, not even an MK Dragon. It's all generic fucking video game design, and
they do look like reused from Injustice.
Like, and I hate how they all have to have these flower petals and the spike in the middle, and I hate how
the spike is design in her fatal blow.
The pedal design,
exactly. That's what I hate. Like,
it feels like they were trying to make it look Hindu with the flower petal theme because she's named after a Hindu god.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Potentially.
I really liked her MK9 alternate skin. I wish there was some more like paint.
Yeah, the war paint would be nice.
That would have been cool.
And like, I mean, I'm gonna say it. Eris is right. She looks like fucking Charles Barkley.
I mean, it's not just Eris. That's going around a lot, especially like when
I think Eris coined it. I'll
say now what I've been saying since her design was revealed. I don't like Sheeva without lipstick. Period.
It doesn't even need to be lipstick.
Every game she can have the black lips she had in 3.
Whenever that hair disappears, or like whatever disappears, if you pick a skin of hers without with like a helmet or something, and it disappears for like a fatal blow or something, boy, she just bald. And that Charles Barkley, yeah, it's Charles Barkley as AF, man. It's a thing.
And there's something about the way that the actor like delivers the lines. Maybe that's how it was directed, but like she sounds dumb.
Not dumb, but like dull, emotional.
She sounds fucking dumpy, man. Like she says, like "you will suffer." Like
she does.
What?
Yeah. She sounds better in story mode, I think.
I think she sounds fine in story mode, but there are moments where the speed of her speech seems like she's like pausing a little too much to think about what she's trying to say.
And
it feels very rote and underperformed. I'll say
but again, like I don't think that's them writing Sheeva. I think that's them writing the Shokan race as dumber, and I don't like that.
Remember when she had a lot of passion in her voice when she ran at you, and the sound of was a terrifying thing to hear. Because God, she had the most original voice, and this is a bit of a letdown after that.
She did have a very unique running scream in 3.
It sounds like the voice director just when she's making the one-liners, she's like, okay, say that again, but sound like you're ugly.
There is some of that. Like, I mean, she does, like, I think the voice actor is a good pick, and she has a good voice to begin with, but then she does, like, this whole thing
she's a lot better than the person who did it in 9.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. But she doesn't need to, like, try to sound bigger than she is by going, like, you will suffer. Like, come on, like, you're good. You don't need to go that big.
It is way better in story mode, like the scene where they propose the plan to her in Aftermath, and she's like, "You come to the future just to mock me." Like that was well delivered. Like she can do it. It's just whoever's directing her lines is an asshole.
So the problem I have, and
this is a Phantom Menace quality about there, isn't it?
The problem with, and not just this game, but like every game Sheeva's in except 3, is that there seems to be like an attempt to like make her more masculine because she's from a big strong race, and I feel like Sheeva in 3 had like a lot of feminine qualities. Like she wasn't ugly. I mean, yes, she had 4 arms and a mohawk, but she kind of had a sexy face.
She was also graceful, like a ballerina in a lot of her combo execution.
Yeah,
that's still kind of there. She had like. You remember her like 7 or 8 hit like giant combo? You can do that combo, but in like 2 separate different dialogue combos in this game. You can't do the whole thing together.
Yeah.
And like the effect is kind of lost with the masculine touches, and now I
just feel like they're sort of stereotyping that, oh, you can't be in charge of a warrior race without acting like a dude, and I don't agree with that. Like
There's a lot of people saying like, oh well, she shouldn't be pretty. She's from a monster race. I'm like, what the fuck?
I never considered her hot in MK3, but yeah, she looks like a lady.
Monsters can be attractive.
Well, it's fucking.
You check your fucking privilege.
Talking like something else. Stop. Okay,
man.
So,
also. Did we talk about Fujin's fatalities?
We did not.
We did not.
You want to add to it?
You just like her that much?
We talked about his brutality.
We did.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say is because one of them includes like a thing I've always kind of wanted out of Fujin, where he's using the wind currents to slash the opponent.
Yeah, like. He's doing that thing Sephiroth does in the Final Fantasy games where he swings his sword and he's really far away from you and it sends like a beam of air to cut you.
It's really cool. The other one is okay.
They're both just kind of all right to me.
I kind of prefer the intestine stomp, wraparound, and slam. I do enjoy the first one too, but I'm like, I've seen this hand getting a sword through the head into it before, and it was in Baraka's fatal blow.
I feel like they're going for like a shish kebab thing, but it wasn't like executed very well. I don't like the intestine one because it just kind of ends in a whimper, like, oh man, he wrapped their intestines around them, I guess, and then he just kind of slams them on the ground and makes them blow up. Like, okay.
Well, that's standard MK fare.
It is.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like,
if it was an MK2, it would be considered a classic fatality.
We've seen so many fatalities at this point. They're starting to blend together. It's just, and it's the same thing that I'm always going to say. I like brutals better. I just do.
Yeah, they're good. They're fast. They're like usually they're like an extension of something the character already does. naturally, so it's, it's like, come on, man. I like the speed. The speed is a giant thing with me. I'm all about that fucking time. Come on, man. Let's get back to the video game. Let's quit watching videos.
The cinematic nature of the fatalities and the fatal blows really hurts gameplay. It's just, you have no choice but to sit there and watch it for 5 to 10 seconds. And if you were seeing a brutality where Fujin was doing that exact same thing, like ripping a guy's guts out, bringing them up, wrapping them around, and slamming them down in the space of like 4 seconds, using the gameplay engine, it would look a hell of a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It would.
I don't want to watch 10-second movies every 3.5 minutes. I don't.
It needs tighter editing.
I've said it many times, and I'll say it many times more. I don't think the Mortal Kombat series needs supers. You can just remove that mechanic.
Oh man, dude, those not
like
talking about
I
fatal
really
blows,
liked X-rays because I liked the visual effect of X-rays, and now that we have crushing blows, we don't need supers anymore.
Oh man, fatal blows is something we could talk about for a long time. All the problems with that shit.
Let's get back to Sheeva. Is any other thoughts about?
I agree with you though.
All right, ending time. I do appreciate it doesn't really go anywhere. Kind of, the writers showing their fetish for ancient Greek imagery again. But, it's kind of...
I kind of liked it in this instance, the idea that, like, if the Shokan weren't warriors, they'd all be sitting around a fountain, drinking wine, and getting fat.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Motaro in an ending. That was pretty sweet.
It was like...
Didn't take her any place new, but just reaffirms... Yeah,
Kintaro was there, too. It was the... Here's your token reference.
Yeah, but it was like the 9 version, and I fucking hate his face in that, so...
Well, we're never gonna get away from the black nose now.
Not kidding.
We're stuck.
Bad. It was an ending. It wasn't the greatest, but it was nice to look at.
It was perfectly serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
Her fatals.
Like the first one, like, wow, talk about underwhelming.
I kind of like him. I wish on the final shot of her jumping into the air, it looked like she was going higher, and then they gave her the meteor effect they put on Fujin's sword and his.
That'd be better, but I just don't like. I don't know how I feel about her just jumping like that. Like,
Okay.
I like it.
It feels like kind of makes her feel like she's dumb or something.
I think
something about the posing.
Shokan do.
Well,
it is stomping is what the Shokan do. They jump real high. That's their thing.
Again, like I don't think either of the fatalities are amazing, but they're perfectly suited to the character. They're okay.
I really like the step on their head and pull their spine out the hard way one.
That's like fucking rancid, man. Like,
the sound effects on it are very MKX.
It's really gross. It's gross.
This is the kind of thing that I was, hoping for, where, like, another thing I've said many, many times about fatalities is that the ones in X were better. They looked more gross and gory and realistic. And these ones look cartoony with the giant gushers of blood. This one was more like an X fatality, so I dig it.
Yeah, not so much jelly.
It feels like it's weird because I feel like it's going a little bit too far. Maybe that's, I don't know, man.
I would agree, actually. Like, it was like, when I saw that shit, I was like, ooh, wait, ooh. Like, maybe even if it was faster, it would be a little better.
If fatalities have to be a thing, I want them to make me think, is this too far?
Exactly.
I don't disagree with you.
It's doing its job.
If you're doing something, if you're grotesquely killing a person that's just unnecessarily violent, like, do it.
To me, this is still not as fucked up as Kung Lao cutting a man into the shape of a flower because of the personalities involved.
Yeah, I can see Sheeva doing a thing like this. It's a Shokan War execution method. Sure, fine, it works. And what's Noob Saibot's best fatality ever? We all know the answer to that. If it makes you uncomfortable, it's good.
Yeah.
If they can't be short like Brutals, then they should be gross.
I
honestly,
do wish hers was faster. That's all I'll say about the head thing.
Yeah, if it was like a really sharp jerk, it would be like an ugh moment.
I think the fact that she's pulling slow adds more emphasis to the sound effects, though, that you're, like, hearing every vertebrae. It's getting stuck and you have to pull harder again.
I know, it's gross. That's why.
That's what makes it work for me.
I do kind of wonder how the jawbone kind of pops off like that. Something about the physics. It's very peculiar, but I'm like,
I will give them points for not doing any eyeballs.
You say that now, but, you know, in a year and a half, maybe jawbones are the new eyeballs.
Oh god.
You know what? None of the 3 Aftermath characters have an eyeball pop fatal. It's nice.
Right?
I think they
nice.
realized they were going a bit overboard with that.
Also, I think I was trying to mention this, but I think I got people were over talking to me or whatever. But I don't like her arm guards with the blades on it. Because they keep doing this thing with the animation where they need to have blades on it because she cuts you with them. And now I can't, like, have a classic Sheeva because, like, the guards don't do the top ones either. They all need to have blades. And, like, we might have.
Sucks. It's all bad.
You know what? There is, like, the default set of gauntlets looks like her regular gauntlets, but just with blades on them. Like, it's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah. Her gear is just the fucking worst.
She's a lot of fun to play.
I do. I'm enjoying her more than I thought. Like, I've never really been a big fan of Sheeva gameplay, but she's got some stuff.
The only thing I think she's really missing is a big-ass, meaty roundhouse that sends you across the screen.
Yeah.
Because I used to love doing
felt
that
that
in
too.
MK3.
I feel like
Sheeva's roundhouse.
I feel like for someone who has 4 arms to reach out with, she has a really short range on her uppercut.
Yeah.
That's a problem that bothers me in this game in general, that different characters have different ranges on their fucking uppercut.
Jade
I
says
prefer it that way. I don't like it when it's all standardized and everyone feels
I don't want everybody to have the same normals, but I do feel like the uppercut should be something I can rely on.
Well, it's never been the same. Like in MK2, the ninjas had shit uppercuts. Kung Lao had a great one. Jack, like, this is just standard process. But I get where you're coming from.
Man.
There are some characters though who's like, I think like Cassie's one of them. The arm just goes straight up, and I'm like, what point?
Yeah, that's my problem, is that some characters, you can be pressed up against the person and do an uppercut
and
in
it'll
it.
still fucking miss.
That's when I hate it.
Anti-air. I like Fujin's, though, going back to him, because he basically fists in like a 45-degree angle away from himself. It's like, it's fucking almost overpowered how great his is.
Well, you know, there's like Sindel is doing the uppercut with her giant goddamn spear.
Yeah, Sindel's down 2 is still the fucking... I mean, did I say Sindel or Jade? Jade's down 2 is fucked up still and is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
I mean, both of them, because they have fucking pole weapons.
They do. There's this birth of uppercut variety in this game.
Why can't Scorpion do his down 2 with his chain whip?
Wow. Do you really want that? Do you want give Scorpion that?
I think that'd be way fucking cooler than just
Scorpion should have a full screen uppercut.
Yeah, dude, let's do that.
He should have a full screen uppercut, and then he should spear you, and then she'd uppercut you again, and then the spears should also uppercut you with tiny spears that come out of the spears.
Scorpion should be louder, angrier, and have access to a time machine, and whenever he's not on screen, everybody should ask, where's Scorpion?
Oh, goodness.
Nightwolf should uppercut with his wolf ghost.
Literally throwing his own animals at you like projectiles.
I'm fine with Nightwolf using the tomahawk like he's supposed to.
It's good.
I mean, his fatal blow kind of does that with the uppercut. The startup for it, man,
True.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's beefy. That'll get you.
All right, so do we move on to number 3 now?
We should.
To serve and protect.
You know what?
Bend over, dirtbag.
I
Oh
think,
my god.
I think, and I know, Shad, you have said on, was it Twitter or the Discord?
It was the Discord.
Okay, you said that despite your usual disdain for guest characters,
Yes.
you're down with RoboCop.
And you know why? Because he's so fucking stupid. It feels like I'm playing Meat or something. Like, I feel like this is the first time where, like, people are always going on about how this character fits in the MK universe. Spawn fits. Terminator fits. Fuck you! You can't say RoboCop fits! Listen to the fucker talk. He shoots the screen. He moves in a herky-jerky motion wherein his friendship is not all that fucking far off. You're not supposed to take this shit seriously. He's hilarious. He's fucking terrible. He's god-awful. I consider him barely usable, but I'm having so much fun watching him interact with the cat and arrest people. It's so fucking stupid. It works. It feels like an actual honest-to-God joke character.
Yeah, everybody shits on joke characters, but I think RoboCop is a good argument for why joke characters are actually a fun thing to have.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, I'm actually having fun with him, and I don't know how. I don't know why. Ugh.
I do.
He's got some good shit.
That, fuck, what was I gonna say? I do like how they cram basically fucking everything from the first movie in his animations. Like, I love his forward throw where he shoots him like 3 times, and then just the fucking exploding sniper rifle drops from fucking existence into his hands.
Right? So they're not even fucking trying. Whatever, here it is. Programming the ED-99 or 209 off the screen. Oh my god. Like, cracking you over the head with a shield. It's just a never-ending barrage of stupid. And I kind of love it. Oh.
I have to say they did an amazing job with his costumes, too. Like, you look at RoboCop and he only has the one design, and you're like, well, what can you do with that? And it's like, well, first of all, you can do the more blue color scheme from RoboCop 2. You can do the battle damage after his fight with Ed 209. You can do Human Murphy's police uniform. And, despite...
I'm told that you can kind of make the reboot movie outfit, too.
You could if you want to, but why would you do that?
It's not, but it's like, hey, the color scheme is there. And there are sleeker helmets, But, and, there's been some salt online about him having a Cyber Ninja-inspired costume because a lot of people feel like they're getting this instead of Sector or Cyrax.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We will get to that. But even if we weren't getting Sector and Cyrax, I love this outfit. Like, I'm not salty at all. I just feel like this is them, most of the guests. Like, Terminator doesn't really, but Joker has one where it's like a more edgelordy coat. And it's like, and he has some gear that's like these Japanese porcelain masks. So, there's like, if he were native to the MK universe, this is how he'd dress. If RoboCop were native to the MK universe, he would be one of the Lin Kuei Cyber Ninjas. So here's that costume. In fact, someone earlier today on the Discord pointed out something that I had forgotten. In very, very, very early pre-production of MK3, before they came up with the names Ketchup and Mustard even, the coding had them calling the cybers RoboCop.
That's right.
So I kind of love that outfit.
Who's doing that? Oh, hold on a minute.
Here.
Hold on a minute.
You making static.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, I fucking love RoboCop. Like, he's goofy and he's cheesy and he doesn't fit at all, but not in an eyesore way like Yoda in Soul Calibur. But in a way that's just fun.
He's supposed to be funny. He's supposed to be ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't use him being funny as an excuse to be lazy in the design. Like, they put everything in there. Like, you can tell that they actually love the movie RoboCop. They got, it's actual Peter Weller, and he's so good.
There's an intro with Spawn where I don't know if you've ever seen RoboCop 2, but there's a whole like subplot where OCP is trying to make him more of like a role model.
Oh yeah,
for children.
family friendly. Like, they took a bunch of suggestions from like concerned moms and stuff.
Yeah,
and they like loaded up 300 new directives that he's got to like be polite and be friendly to children and all that stuff.
And like give words about environmentalism and eating right. And there's no swearing. So there's one with Spawn where he's all like, "There's still a man under all that shit," and RoboCop just responds with a line from that: "Bad words make for bad feelings."
I'm gonna make you feel real bad, motherfucker. Okay,
man.
but for real though, RoboCop, best guess.
RoboCop is easily the best guest.
Easily.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I approve.
I also really love the one fatality they always kept showing, where he like launches a fucking grenade in their face, and as it like flies up, he like goes into like the vision, like his point of view, like targets the grenade and then targets their dick, and then does like a cool gun pose, shoots through their dick, hits the grenade, fucking explodes, and he just walks away without even looking at it.
The cool guys don't look
Walking
at
away from
explosions.
the explosion.
It's so sick.
Oh my god! I feel like he's like just literally short of grabbing the ED-209 and slapping the person with it. It's just so perfectly stupid.
So
It's wonderful.
there's also one thing an aspect of RoboCop, like the movie, that I really appreciate that they actually snuck in there was one of his intros is of the newscast. It's an outro. I meant to say outro. You know what I mean? But
yeah, there's like a news ticker, and it's got references to the movie.
I have yet to unlock all of those. I'll get there, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it when I do.
One of the things in the news ticker says record year for Butler Brothers, and Butler Brothers was like the manufacturer of the board game Nukem. all those like satirical commercials they interspersed through the film.
Crazy. I didn't even notice that. I just liked that they included the TV intermissions in the movie. Like,
yeah, and there's like he has both a skin, and one of his intros is called TJ Laser. That's the show his kid was watching where he learned to twirl the gun from.
It was also did you say it was a variation name?
I think
because it was one of the default variation names.
Yeah, it's in there several places.
I also appreciate that he actually hacked the ED-209.
Yeah. Sticks his data spike in.
It's still like growls and shit. The ED-209.
Yeah.
I also find it odd that like his feet also have data spikes. So I think it'd be funny if in the movie, if instead of just putting his fist in it, he did like a judo kick or some shit. To the roundhouse to show them the fucking what's the guy's name?
Well, I think the spike in his foot is a reference to like he has in I don't remember if it's RoboCop 3 or the TV show. He could like bolt himself to the ground so that if a car was coming at him and was going to crash into him, he could make sure he's standing still and the car will wreck.
That's cool.
It's kind of a deep cut.
Is it me? Or is he like actually terrible to play? Like I think he actually might be low tier. I'm not sure.
No, I think he's got some good stuff, dude. Like really good stuff.
He feels hard to work with for me.
He's got very stiff movements, and he's
he's stiff, but I don't know. There's probably secret tech in there that I wouldn't be able to find because I'm not good at video games.
I've gotten blown up by a good handful of RoboCops online. I'm just like, how do I? I don't know. Like I gotta take more time and I gotta figure it out. It could just be one of those situations, but I think he's got some dirt.
Also, it's very possible. I mean, I'm no tier expert, and I don't lab characters for more than like 10 minutes to figure out their ins and outs and some good old B&B combos. But he just feels hard to operate functionally.
He's definitely got some good zoning.
That's true.
I also recognize that his base intro animation of him coming out of the cop car is a reference to the poster.
That is true.
Well, yes, it is.
Deep dives.
And I'm a big fan of him doing the robot in his friendship.
Yeah, with the OCP
the big
bling.
gold chain, yeah.
Fucking bling, the bling, oh my god.
OCP bling is the best fucking idea.
So his ending.
Yeah, dude, there's like Stryker and shit.
This Cop Cabal is in
Yeah,
there.
it's the MK9 designs for Sonya, Jax, Cabal, and Stryker.
Oh my god, as if Cabal wasn't confusing enough already. But hey, there it is. Again, your typical fare. OCP is evil, but they have so much money I can't take them down alone. Call the combat cops. It is what it is. And it's alright. It's what you get. It's entertaining. Am I the one who saw RoboCop's ending?
I saw it. It's good.
Okay,
I saw it. It's alright.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, there's not that much to say about it.
yeah,
Apart
yeah.
from also,
it's one of those pretty standard ones.
I'm kind of really glad that, to my knowledge, his time deity variation, time deity look from his ending is not a costume. Because holy shit, is that thing ever hideous? He looks terrible like that.
I mean, it's kind of just
look hideous.
big gold shoulders, isn't it?
They do some stuff around the sides of his eyes as well. It's pretty awful. I mean, yeah, a lot of them do look hideous, but this one just really popped up at me as going, it didn't know.
I mean, I don't like the Apple Store aesthetic all of Chronica shit has in general. All of the white. It doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat to me.
It's a little too slick, too polished.
It feels like some space alien sci-fi thing.
Well, she is a space baby.
Yeah, she's a space
Yeah,
baby. She is.
She's pretty
she's
free.
human
Loaded
free,
infant. Fucking. Who came up with that design?
I don't know, but I wish
Sponsored
that
by
they would
Apple?
stop.
They should have been docked pay instead of receiving it.
Or, well, I mean, you would hope that somebody would just be like, no. This concept, no. Thank you.
Yeah, but back to formula. Let's try again.
But that
Not
didn't
the
happen.
one.
Back to formula.
Something a little more MK, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what actually happened. Somebody did say back to formula, and then the artist came back at night and took the serum and killed them.
Oh my god.
It turns out the head artist in NetherRealm is the Green Goblin. That's the explanation for all of this.
Is there anything more to say about RoboCop?
So stupid, so perfect.
I mean, he does have that one brutality where he reenacts how Murphy died that just goes on forever.
It's pretty cool.
I guess that's it.
I guess so. There is. I have been notified. Listen, the best piece of gear in the game right now is available if you want to get it in the towers. The Miho mask for Scorpion, which I actually don't have myself. So listen,
Is that the MK2 mask?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
shit.
I already have it.
I figured you guys do, but some may not. If you want to grab
No,
it,
it's
And if you're listening to this recording on YouTube, it's already too late.
it's
Sorry.
too late. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But
if you're listening to it
That one
live
was for the
right
live
now.
listeners.
if you're listening to it right now, you got an hour.
go get your Scorpion mask. It's important.
It's good. It's a good mask.
I mean, you've got to have it. It's the MK2 mask.
I don't have it, so I'm gonna get it.
Dude, how do you not already have it?
I'm gonna have it in just 1 second.
I don't
Little
believe
kids,
you.
Get your Scorpion mask. Don't do school. Drink your sleep. Eat your drugs. Stay in milk.
Before we get to the next topic that I've listed, maybe we should talk about the 3 skins that came with the pack.
Oh,
Yes, we should.
That's important.
Yeah, the Eternal Clash.
Eternal Clash. It is a funny name, right? Like for the pack, like I wouldn't have named it that.
It's a fucking WWE like event title or something.
So the pack came with 3 skins. It came with MK9 Scorpion, which I honestly think looks a tad better. The model does.
Yeah, I mean, it is better than it was in 9, but it's still this weird H.R. Geiger bullshit with the black undersuit. Like,
But
I've never liked that design.
no.
But
it has white
whatever.
eyes. So it has white eyes, and you know what costume they didn't fix the white eyes on?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
costume.
It's great to know that it's fixed on their elevator at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it so nice to know that they're aware the eyes are supposed to be white on classic MK2 Scorpion, and they'll do it in the office, but they won't do it in the game for us?
Dude,
Well,
do you know
no,
how
dude,
nice their
it's
shaders
so-
are in the office? Do you have any idea? They have the best shaders in there, dude.
Anyways,
They have their own exclusive shaders.
They
we can't
make
even see in the menu.
dude. You've seen that shit. Like they like in those pre-Injustice 2 builds that where they were showing shit off. They went in there that showing off shaders. Dude, those menus had like a billion shaders options.
I mean-
it was ridiculous. Like
look.
they didn't even fill up the screen in the game that you got. Man, in the dev builds, it was all over that shit. They got Tim Drakes that look right. It's crazy
I
shit.
guess, but at the same time, I'm glad that X-Men Scorpion is not in the game.
I don't remember that shit. I
Yeah,
don't want to be remembered of that.
There
reminded
was
of that shit.
there was a yellow and blue
Come
shader
on.
for Scorpion, and it was the worst fucking garbage.
Yeah,
I
you
like
know,
the
the-
Wolverine one, dude. Come on.
We all played the demo. There were some dumbass shaders. That
Think about the stuff that is left.
the
on
only
cutting
thing
room
that
floor.
was in the demo that people actually didn't get and should want is, some of the Scarlet skins with the short hair.
Yeah.
It's almost like a lot of the classic retro costumes and pieces are intentionally flawed in order to have us hopefully upgrade or use something more modern. Almost like that.
You know what? They failed. Because then they gave us Deception Sub-Zero, and it's fucking perfect, and it's the only one you should ever use ever.
Well,
It is very updated, though. It
I
should be
was gonna
said.
get to that.
it's
You know what?
90% there.
I like it. I like the updates a lot. I'm just gonna go on record for saying that, but it is definitely updated.
Look, the fur collar could go around the forward part more, like all the way around his neck.
You could,
But other than that, every change they made, I think, is an improvement.
You
yeah.
think?
The genie pants for me were never a cool thing. The pointy boots were never a cool thing.
Well, here's the thing, like, the
Boots are still cuffed.
but
the
they're-
boots still
dude,
have the same cuff, yeah, but the cuff starts at the knee now, so it looks better.
but they're not pointy on the toes. They're not elf boots, which is good.
That's true. He does have the Ninja Tabby boots.
My only issue is he doesn't have a 100% accurate deception mask. The new piece of gear that they gave him along with it works really well, but it doesn't have the grill. And like you were saying the other night, Razor, you were using another mask. that
Yeah,
does have a grill effect.
the mask I'm using, which I think looks the closest to the one from Deception. It's a little too flat and angular, but it's good enough. Is Dao of Kuai Liang.
Is that the Shredder one?
Yeah.
No,
No,
the
the-
Shredder one is different. The Shredder one
Yeah,
is
the Shredder one is
Visage of
solid
Death.
silver. I don't
That's
use the
the
Shredder
one.
one because it's not blue.
There's a
No, I'm talking about the Polar Visage of Death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one
that's what
doesn't come in blue. It's all silver.
What?
That's the
No,
one that
mine
actually
comes in
makes
blue.
it look like Shredder and is best reserved for a completely silver or purple costume. So you're actually playing a Shredder with ice powers.
Are y'all crazy?
No.
You're being crazy
not.
right now.
You
I
know,
got a blue one right
It
here.
has blue stripes on the cheeks.
I mean, that's blue, sir. That's very
not-
good. Dude.
It's not...
Dude.
Come on, you know what
This
we're
looks
talking about.
no,
Shingo.
this looks dead. Dude.
Look, I just use the one that makes him look the most like Deception, where it's all blue and he has the grill in the middle, and the grill is not divided like down the center the way Shredder's is.
I think that
kinda like
this
the way
one
the
looks the
Shredder
most
one
fun.
looks.
I prefer the one that came with the new costume. It doesn't have the grill. It has the general shape and the angles. So I think it looks a little bit better. I'm willing to sacrifice the grill for that. It's serviceable. I like it. It's great for me. Not perfect, but 90% of the way there.
I'm gonna have to
There are
post my
options.
sub. It's on.
And then, it's so nice that they actually fucking gave a shit to give us this fucking costume.
So here's the thing that I like the most. Every shader is shades of blue. There's no purple and orange Deception Sub-Zero.
Yeah, there's not. It's
You don't-
good.
No,
There's a
Dude,
good
you know,
white one
There's
too.
only ones that you would actually want to use.
Yeah. The white one is
Wait a
really,
minute.
really
So
nice.
you're-
I like the black one too. The black one's really good.
You're telling me that you don't want your Sub-Zero to look like Ermac.
That might be what I'm telling you.
There
Do I
are
want it-
appropriate
do I want it-
shaders.
A hot
Razor,
yellow
they-
sub isn't on your menu?
Razor, they didn't give you 5 different Ermac shaders for Sub-Zero for nothing.
Yes, they did. I don't care what Ed thinks. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I ain't never using that shit.
I think I use the white one and the black one the most.
All of my Sub-Zeros are blue, sir.
Not a single
Look,
one.
I've
otherwise
had to
for me.
go to great trouble to ensure that all my Sub-Zeros are blue.
Scrolling
Man.
through all that crap. Nope. No, thank you. Don't want it. Ugly. Piss yellow. No, thank you.
The other,
You
the
don't
other
like
thing,
this?
the other thing that's nice is that if you look at Deception, the Shredder skin is actually 2 different color schemes. Like in the pictures from his like bio and ending and stuff, it's more of a light blue, and in the in-game graphics it's a dark blue. Both of those colors are available, so you can pick which one you prefer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A nice touch. And just if in case anyone else is listening, if you could just maybe do for Cabal's retro costume what you did with this and Sonya's, it'd be really great if you could just help us out here a little bit with that.
Dude,
If
I don't even want-
if this game makes it to the end of development, like where they stop supporting it, and there's no retro skin for Cabal, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be very upset.
I mean, the math
be a
is
thing.
already wrong.
The mask is the least of my problems. At least there's like that option. It's everything else around it that I have issues with.
You don't want to see Cabal's burned ass body, dude? Like his naked body?
I don't want shirtless Cabal. I don't want ugly ass no hair Cabal. I don't want Cabal wearing a bandana around his mouth.
You don't like the turd on his head, dude? Like, dude, he looks like someone that's from the 2010s, dude. Like, what the
Good
fuck?
sir, are you
It's
perhaps
so
being
sick.
sarcastic? I truly cannot tell.
I
Dude,
don't know.
dude,
I don't know if I'm being sarcastic.
dude. This sub that I posted in Casual Convo is the best sub for Deception.
It's fine.
It's the
The-
best. It's so
The
good.
real opinions and the shit posts are starting to blend together in my brain.
That is literally Shredder. It just needs
This
to
is why I
put
tell
down-
you to stop shitposting all the time, because you'll lose track of when you're not fucking making up your opinion and lying.
God, I love this. I love this
You'll
Shredder.
forget that you have taste, and you'll only shitpost for the rest of time.
Frost. Moving on.
Frost,
Frost.
yes, human Frost.
Ugh.
How painful is it? People were asking for a human-looking Frost. How does it feel to see her still remove her fucking head and throw it at you, despite the fact and she's got human-ish skin that still has robot cracks in it. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it. I'm happy we have the option. I'm happy she has the crystalline hair. But it's really fucking bizarre, isn't it?
You know what? I'm fine with it. This is the best we were gonna get.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's made using her a lot more fun to me. Like,
what I really
we
want,
lost that Apple aesthetic, and that's what I'm grateful for.
What I would really want is for them to do like Ryu and Evil Ryu, where they release a separate Human Frost that has its own moves, but they're not going to do that. There's no possibility they'd ever do that.
That's a dream.
So
that's a pipe dream.
this is as good as we're going to get, and I'm not going to like look a gift horse in the mouth. The costume looks good. I kind of wish the backpack slot had been like an empty slot instead of them coming up with a weird backpack for her.
No, that'd have been dumb.
Did you own G.I. Joes as a kid? Because that's literally what she has. She has one of those G.I. Joe backpacks you plug into her spine.
Yes.
That's what these are.
I don't need it. Look, she doesn't have any animations that use the backpack. Like, Liu Kang can't have a no headband option because he has a wind pose where he tugs on the headband.
Right.
She doesn't use the backpack. They could totally unequip the backpack. They just won't.
The backpack might be. Well, the wind pose where like things come out of her back, like the fucking MK3 cyber grabby grab things from her shoulder.
Those are like coming out of her shoulders, though.
They could be coming from the backpack, though.
I can't tell, but the way she does it during the animation.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably their reasoning. It's dumb, but that's how they think. Dumb.
Let's not be overly insulting. If we're not sure if it doesn't come out of the backpack, let's not shit on them for it. It does look good enough to me.
Yeah.
And I had about a good hour of Frost playtime today. I haven't used her much since the opening. It was fun to revisit her.
That thigh window was a little weird on her classic.
Yeah.
I like it, actually.
I don't dislike it, but I saw it and I was
Kira,
like, oh.
But it's also dumb on Kira.
I see them thighs. What's up?
You know what? It's fine. It gives her a little uniqueness because otherwise this outfit isn't actually what she wore in Deadly Alliance. It's just MK2 Sub-Zero. So I like the little personal touches, like the cutouts on the thighs and the gloves that go all the way up her arm.
You could also think of it like a little bit like what is it? Kunoichi pants, ninja lady pants. How they have the side thing open sometimes.
Like a more futuristic version of that, yeah.
It's a good design. And again, I say this as someone who was never really opposed to her going full cyber in the first place. But I'm very happy with it. Shitposting aside, it's nice to have the option.
Alright. I think that's the skin packs done. So
Yeah,
the next thing that's on the subject list is the new stages, along with the
Well, you
stages.
know what? There are other skins that have been added to the game, mostly for Shang Tsung, which come from story mode. Do we want to talk about those now, or?
Well, I have it listed with the story. I was going to mention that before we started on getting into the story, but if we can get into it now, that'd be fine. But that's a big surprise with this update is that they added new gear.
Yeah.
And along with it, some new win poses for Noob Saibot, Kano, Kodal, and what was the other one?
I think it was
Johnny,
yes.
yeah. I like Johnny's, the sitting down in the director's chair.
It's good. I think
Noob's is pretty cool too.
My personal favorite is Noob's.
I feel like Kano's and Kodal's are a little generic.
Yeah.
It feels like they're going to give everybody a fifth win pose, and this is just the start of it.
I hope so.
It would be very odd if only certain characters were recipients.
I especially love Noobs because when he rips the clone out of the ground, it kind of has this creepy gurgling sound, and it's really fucking cool.
That's not bad. So they're. You know what? Let's save the new skins for last because Kung Lao got one that's kind of a spoiler. I'm
Yes.
excited to get to.
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed.
I
I mean,
so
in fact, hang on. Are we sure we want to cover all of story mode tonight along with this? Because this could be a very long episode.
We could do another episode in a couple of days.
okay.
Since we
that
were
actually
worried about
might-
this being 4 hours long.
I think that actually might be the best option because story mode itself is going to take a lot of discussing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do like a spoiler-free thing tonight, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do spoiler free tonight. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's call this Aftermath Part 1.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the new stages.
Yes,
The new stages all look rad.
Mm-hmm. I
Holy
think
shit, where were they keeping this Deadpool music?
I noticed that when you let the intros play on the Deadpool, you could hear the courtyard riff.
Huh, I hadn't picked up on that.
Interesting.
We have to check that out. I like the Deadpool music. I still wish that they were less afraid of percussion these days.
Yeah.
And
But at least like they brought up the electric guitar and made it stand out.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some honest to god sick riffage going on here. I need a game rip of this.
You can
like
hear
it.
you can hear the whole na like in the fucking intros. It's really cool. But
I know
the
that song.
A new sound guy in maybe? I don't know.
but the Deadpool I think might be my favorite of the new stages. But not to take away from the Soul Chamber, this is the best the Soul Chamber has ever looked. It's it's so aggressively Doom. Like
You know what I like about it is that I've never really liked the aesthetic of the Soul Chamber, that it's just kind of a cave and there's some weird tentacle-y stuff going on. Now
Well,
that
was
they've
the
like
9 version.
they've like taken the church aesthetic and they've added like the stained glass windows and like the bookcase with the little like study area on the one side. I really like it now.
Mm-hmm. I think making the big face in the middle a skull adds a lot as opposed to like
A demonic face.
weird cat thing. Like is weird.
Yeah, it had a ugly nose on the face in the center in 9.
And then, I mean, even in 3, like it's still just kind of.
I mean, it's more of a cow skull kind of look in 3, I think, which this one is pretty accurate too.
I don't know about a cow skull. I always thought it as like this large, distended, demonic face.
It's still
There is, if I did have a complaint about the Soul Chamber, it's that like on the right hand side where the like roof is broken and the sunshine is coming in, it looks like an Earth sky. Like I just wish it was, orangey purpley, whatever. That's the standard complaint we always have about Outworld stages.
Make Outworld purple again. Fuck. I was actually really worried about the Soul Chamber coming into this thing because there was like some early analysis going on where people were thinking, did they just like slap new assets over the background of Shinnok's Bone Temple? But even if they did, it's not that noticeable to me.
No, they have
good.
some aesthetics in common, but it's clearly not like the assets aren't the same.
No, not at all.
They don't really look the same.
no. I also think there's some cool interactables in the Soul Chamber. There's one where you smash them against the skull, like not the skull, but like a skull off to the side, and it kind of pops them up.
Yeah, there
also
are some unique interactables in the Soul Chamber that don't like behave the way the ones in other stages do.
There's one in Kronika's Keep that basically does like some Kronika bullshit. To them.
Yeah, there's a crystal on the far left hand side that if you hit people with it, it freezes them in time for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, you can pull such bullshit with that. It is nasty. Tournament illegal. Calling it now. All right. I do wish the music from the Soul Chamber stood out a little bit more, but I might not be saying that if the Deadpools wasn't so fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really like the Deadpool's interactables too, like pouring the acid from the top.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me constantly. I like it a lot. And Brusque is saying that the Soul Chamber might be combined with the church in our chat.
Yeah, that's like the stained glass windows in the
Yeah.
background. It's the aesthetic of the temple.
Okay. So maybe those
One
two things are
aspect-
linked.
One aspect I like about the Soul Chamber too is that I think it's mentioned in the story, but like I think the Soul Chamber is Outworld's version of the Jinsei.
There's a definite similarity. Like you can sit in that stuff and heal up. It's weird. Like they need Jinsei anyway. They can't just use the Soul Chamber to bring Sindel back in story mode.
Yeah.
But there are definite similarities, and I always thought like I think Kittleson has said that in his headcanon that he writes from, the Earth realm is the only one that has a Jinsei. But I think that's a dumb idea. I think every realm should have an equivalent.
Yeah,
that's
Like every realm should have like a life force of that realm, shouldn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Wasn't there
And
some
I think-
story about like Chaos Realm where like the reason it's so full of just floating islands that are just destroyed everywhere was because it exploded because of some war?
Yeah, there was
cataclysm or
a
some
god
shit?
of chaos unleashed a big energy tornado called the Tempest, and the Tempest is like part of the conquest map in the center. It's like this big column of green light or whatever.
So there you go. There's Chaos Realm's equivalent.
Yeah, and I think I feel like there's some very easy to write lore you could imagine about why the Soul Chamber is different from the Jinsei, because it's like, well, Shao Kahn has corrupted it. That seems like a short leap to
It
make.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And
I'm
sensible.
starting to feel like there are maybe multiple soul chambers. There's no real one singular one. Kind of like the original concept for Khan's soul cages. It's a large repository of stored souls.
I mean, there was a version of a soul chamber in Shaolin Monks also, and like there's lore in that game to explain why it exists that doesn't really hold up. The idea that every single person who dies in Outworld, their soul, instead of going to heaven or hell, gets sucked into the soul chamber for Shao Kahn to feed on. Like, obviously, we've known characters to die in Outworld and not get sucked into the soul chamber. They actually went to hell.
That's a little bit of a stretch, so no thank you.
But like, obviously, like Shao Kahn feeds on souls. He needs a refrigerator.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. And I like the idea of there being multiples, because I can say to myself, well, maybe 9s and 3s and 11s are completely distinct. They sure look different enough.
I mean, I'm fine with there being one in Shao Kahn's castle, and that's it. And like, obviously they need to pick a design. I hope this is the one going forward, that it continues to look like a church with stained glass windows, because like I said, I never liked the Soul Chamber before. This is the first time I've actually thought it looked cool.
In 9, it would look like a pit.
I'd like
Yeah.
Shang Tsung to have one.
So if you look
Out of
close
all
at the
people,
one,
he should have one for himself.
Shang Tsung does have one. It's in his island in Deadly Alliance.
yeah, there's a soul well in.
That's the Soul NATO, isn't it?
Well, the Deadly Alliance Palace doesn't exist. Like, it had to be, they forced Li Mei's village to build it in that game. That didn't happen in this timeline.
Well, he's got that thing on his island now.
Yeah, he has the soul well in Goro's lair. It's whatever. There is a detail that I kind of miss from MK3. If you look really close at the background, behind the Shadow Priests, there are piles of bodies, like they've been dragging people in from Earthrealm during the invasion.
Really? Let me look at this shit.
To add them to the Soul NATO in the Demon Mouth.
I really want to see this.
But yeah, like I missed, like there don't seem to be Shadow Priests in this version at all of it. Like there is a Shadow Priest in Shao Kahn's moveset, so it's not like they've forgotten they exist.
It looks wrong though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. They keep redesigning things. It's a floating guy in a robe.
Oh wow, I never noticed the bodies in the Shadow Priest back there.
Yeah.
Fuck. Damn, that's fucked up.
Anyway,
Neat, isn't it? I miss when MK was.
so yeah, I find Chronica's Keep other than the broken blue interactable crystal. I find it a little boring. It's a little too brown. But other than that, like, obviously we've been talking about how much we like the new Deadpool design since vanilla story mode came out and showed it. I like the soul chamber. But my favorite is the Retrocade.
Yes.
And there are so many things about it to talk about, but my favorite thing is that even though the old stages are on a projected screen, they still have parallaxing.
My favorite, well, I have two favorites. One is that there's so many like arcade machines, like the Grid and Primal Rage.
Oh
like,
yeah, they have all these references that aren't MK games. Like Joust is back there.
My second is that way far off to the right, there's a cardboard cutout of Su Hao.
There sure is.
They haven't forgotten.
I really like the carpet in there.
This is Su Hao's time, man. Like, he's getting all the shit this game.
Okay, yeah. Doesn't Fujin call someone Su Hao as like an insult?
Yes,
Kano Su Hao because Kano makes fun of him for being like lesser Raiden or something like that.
Dude, they fucking know Kano's just Su Hao in these games.
It's kind of funny, but no, the Retrocade's carpet is on point. It looks like pretty much every arcade that I went into, complete with like the shit everywhere, cups, cans, miscellaneous particles.
Oh man, you know what? I've worked at a video arcade. You know what that carpet needs more of for authenticity is gum stuck to it, like fucking everywhere.
Yeah, gum is a thing.
People are fucking savages.
They are. It's really fucking gross.
Cigarette stains on the machines.
Floor?
Cigarette stains on top the start buttons. Get on it.
Cigarette stains. That's a thing that wouldn't even happen now. That's a big callback. The change machine also looks really good. I know that change machine.
I know a lot of people out there are bothered by the fact that like the music doesn't line up with the stages that are on the screen. I feel like that's probably intentional. Like, you're supposed to be hearing it coming over the arcade's PA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I'm glad that music is in the game somewhere at all.
And they had the Streets theme, man. Or no, not the Streets, the Subway. The Subway is one of my favorite themes in
the Subway is a good jam. I love the Subway.
I maintain that Deadpool is my favorite of the new 3 stages, but this one's okay. I just enjoy the nitty-gritty of the world.
It's so dense with references. It has layers like an onion. I appreciate it.
There's that phrase again.
They also have, in addition to the stages, they also added new stage fatalities, like they did with MKX and its update. The Deadpool obviously gets one, and it's all right.
It's standard Deadpool.
I like that it uses the hook.
It does, yeah.
That's good stuff. I do also like how like parts of like the remnants flake off and fall in afterwards.
Yeah, they did good job graphically with the acid burn skeleton. And
while we're here, I'll also say that I like that it's a part of story mode, but we'll get to that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think, you know what, the acid in the Deadpool looks a bit too thick and neon sometimes.
It does look a little bit like you got slime.
It's Nickelodeon gack.
Yeah. We used to have the show up here in Canada called "You Can't Do That on Television," and like when you'd answer a question wrong or whatever, sometimes they just like drop a bunch of green ooze on you from above, and it looks exactly like that.
Green slime was a huge thing in the 90s, and then it just all, like, overnight disappeared from media, period. Like some parent who was tired of cleaning up their kid's gack got in charge of all media and decided, stop it! Stop promoting this!
Behold! I have the perfect replacement. We call it the Bobbit.
Oh my god. Oh man, that's my shit.
I think like Tamagotchis, like the little digital pets, probably replaced gag.
Those were a thing too.
For like a year.
Yeah, it was a real short fad.
But then, the people that really liked it, they kept doing it. You can find some old ones now. Like, this is someone's old Tamagotchi.
That's true.
Anyways,
This thing's not even dead. What the fuck?
the stage
Like, they live
fatalities.
longer than a real cat.
This is weird. What the hell?
See, they added other stage fatalities to the existing stages. Like the Shaolin Trap Dungeon gets one,
Yep.
where a big swing pendulum swings them all the way up to the ceiling, and they fall on some spikes.
Which is nice because the point of that stage is that it's a dungeon full of traps.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like,
I was hoping it would get one.
come on,
I'm pleased
man.
it did.
If it didn't, like, that would be a massive
Yeah, that would
blow
be a
up.
bit of a blow up. Honestly.
The other one,
It's
I
mythologies,
believe-
dude. Like, that shit's gonna happen, and when you play that shit, you go in those places.
Yeah, Bihan remembers.
Yeah, you do.
You know, on that note, I am disappointed that there doesn't seem to be any unique dialogue between Bihan and Fujin, because they do have a little bit of history together.
Well, they got a little bit of something in story mode.
Again, we'll get there. It's kind of a
You know
nod, I
what,
guess.
there are intros that mention the Temple of the Elements
There
between
are.
Fujin and like Kuai Liang, and I think he does have one with Noob.
He does.
Does he?
And there's one
I
with Fujin and Fujin, too. That's like,
I have not seen it.
did he beat you? Because he beat me. He didn't beat me. Well, shit.
What was the other stage?
I can't remember who it's with, but there are intros Fujin has with other people who mention the other element gods, like the gods of earth and fire.
They don't mention water though, which is odd.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
Like,
they just forgot it existed.
They can't have forgotten that it existed. Like they
like is that a reference to the band that is only named after 3 of the 4 elements?
See what they did there, and I hate it.
Fuck.
I mean, they
the other,
what was it, Earth, Wind,
the other
and Fire?
stage fatality.
Yes.
Yeah,
Stage fatality.
Gotcha.
the other stage fatality they had was in the tournament stage, where everyone gets to deadlift an arcade machine.
Everyone.
Everyone,
And
even
the tournament
Joker.
Stage, since the tournament stage doesn't appear in like ladders, I'll never see it. 'Cause I don't play
I mean,
people.
Yeah, that's
There's-
true. The training stage doesn't appear in ladders. I never see it either.
It's an intentional
There-
choice,
you
and I'm
can
actually
fight.
grateful for it.
That is
You
odd.
can fight the computer like on its
Yeah,
own.
like you can
You
select
can.
it.
Yeah.
But
The retrograde shows up in ladders.
Which, like, again, I think that's actually kind of bizarre. I was expecting it to like be another versus or online only thing, because I feel like they took the tournament stage out because they didn't want to break people's outworld immersion for whatever that's worth. And that was
No,
great
I
that they
think
did
it was-
that.
I think it was just that like they're trying to make the tournament stage special because they literally use it for when they hold tournaments.
Maybe
It's
Either
a
way,
bit like all the Street Fighter ones that are themed for whatever the most recent competition
Yeah.
was IRL.
the Capcom Cup of crap. Whatever.
Yes, the Capcom Cup.
Capcom. Cack poop. No likey. Is there anything else to discuss out of Aftermath?
Well, there were some data mines.
There
Yes.
were.
Is that spoilery, though?
I don't
No.
think so.
Oh, I don't know.
It's tough. It depends on... I guess it depends on the mine.
I mean, people already know the characters in the data mine are already in the game in another way.
Well, not only was there characters, there's also like modes and shit. Like they,
yeah. So
it's
nobody's
revealed.
going to feel spoiled to find out early that the test yours are coming back.
Yeah, all of them. Might, Tester Might,
So
Sight,
looking
Strike,
forward to this shit.
as well as Combat Pack 2 and 3, and Sector and Cyrax.
It's Sector, Cyrax, and a separate slot for Fire God Lu for some reason.
That one
That's
has me excited.
strange.
I'm.
I don't know about that.
You know what? They might be like giving him a new moveset.
Yeah, I would like that a lot, actually.
Like, that's the only thing I could think of that would justify separating it from being, like... Because it's already a costume for regular Lou, and when you play as Fire God Lou in story, the only thing he does different is animation-wise. He has lightning on his EX Fireball and on his Dragon Kick. That's the only difference. There's no actual...
His life bar also does say Fire God Liu Kang.
I mean, and he should have his move list, like, logically should be a little different. So, if he gets the Shadow Jago treatment, then I'm cool with it. Kage! Like, you know, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I kind of thought that we were over multiple versions of the same character in an MK game. I felt like that was a thing of the past.
I mean, Sub-Zero happens a lot.
Look,
we
if
get
he gets
cyber
new
subs.
moves, if he gets new moves, I'm curious to see it. I think it could be cool.
I think it could be cool.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm just skeptical, that's all. I'll take it over another guest.
Yeah, he's canon now. He is a Mortal Kombat character. Fire God... Well, I mean, it's Fire God of Fire and Lightning, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because he's got Raiden's powers on top. See, that's a weird thing I wonder. When he recreates the universe, does he just not bring back the God of Fire that already existed for Earthrealm? Does he decide, sorry, bro, you don't get to live?
That's my turf, bitch.
I feel like in the new era, trademark, under Liu Kang, he's probably still more akin to the Keeper of Time or whatnot. Yeah, they're probably all still there.
Yeah.
No, because we see in his ending, which, again, we're not going to talk about until next episode, that he's not just sitting with the Hourglass forever. He is the protector of Earthrealm.
There's nothing to say that he can't get more involved.
I mean, there is...
I would imagine that all the typical people are also there.
I think
it might be like a
enough
Cetrion situation. Like, she has a lot of the god powers.
In a future game, we'll get, like, a human Raiden with pupils in his eyes, like we did at the end of story mode.
Oh, good. That's what I
Keep
want.
that filthy talk out of you. I don't want to hear that. This is a family-friendly show, sir.
That's what we
Not
all
about
need.
television domination.
You know what's better than
Raiden?
Raiden?
Not look bad if he's not wearing the cowl, though.
Look, it would just
Like,
be pretty
if they just design him to look like Lambert, like have his hair out, the eyes might be fine.
I mean, they kind of
They
did that
only
with
look silly
Fujin's
because
white design, though. Like, it looked a
That
lot
dumb
like
cowl,
Lambert.
I think makes his face look weird without glowing eyes.
Fujin just doing all the shit that Raiden could have done and did it.
Yeah, I would prefer a game with no Raiden at all in the God Lu timeline.
Do you really think he's not going to bring his friend and mentor back?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Timeline? So he's obviously around there, and probably so is the old Fire God.
Probably. Like I said, like he might be like a Cetrion situation. She's got wind powers and earth powers and whatever she wants, fire shit. But there's also individual gods, so maybe Lu's like that.
I don't know. It feels like he's a god of Earthrealm who also has the hourglass.
He could be. We'll see. It's gonna be great.
He's an elder god who gives a shit. Fancy that.
But he's not a Titan.
What's a Titan?
I don't think anyone should be a Titan.
Well, there are none anymore, I think. I think they're all
not going to
gone.
do that. We're not going to do that.
They're dead.
We're not going to talk about Titans.
Okay.
So, we were also talking about alternate costumes. Do we want to talk about the alternate costume that comes after story mode? Or, since we're talking about story mode in a couple of days, talk about that then?
Well, we can talk about, like... So... I don't think it's spoilers to say that... Well, it is, but I don't think it's going to bother anybody. Like, you can guess that the last chapter of story mode is Shang Tsung, and that he is in a position to fight Liu at the very end of the game.
Well, I mean, you don't even have to say all that. I think there's, like, I think all you really need to say is that there's a skin that you get for Shang that looks really cool, and it by itself, it does not actually, like, imply anything. It's just a really fucking cool skin.
Well, there are two skins for Shang. There's one where he's got kind of a, like, an hourglassy costume.
Yeah,
like,
there's a timekeeper one.
It's the same Chronica bullshit.
Yeah, everybody kind of gets. But the
one
other
he's
one,
wearing in his arcade ladder ending too, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it
It's
is.
the same.
So it's pretty much his arcade ladder, whatever.
Yeah, okay,
but
so
the other one is
The
dank.
other one is rad as fuck.
It's
Oh
really
my
good.
god, it's really sick.
It's really
nice.
And it's like, we don't even have to talk story spoilers to discuss it, because it's pretty standard Shang Tsung clothing.
good. It is. And it's good. It's a good
It's like
Shang Tsung.
all red and it has like these like dragon embellishments on it. Like
Yeah, it's...
it kind of gives off like a Deadly Alliance feel.
Yeah, that's the... I gotta feel like it doesn't really have much in common with Deadly Alliance, but I feel like if you were remaking Deadly Alliance, totally put him in this instead of that thing.
Yeah, it's streamlined, it's effective, it's still like... He looks like he could move freely and do kung
Like,
fu.
I might add the scarf thing he had, but other than that, this looks way better.
It's
And
funny.
I would still add also the like armor idea we came up with.
It's just kind of, well, I mean, this has armor. It's like a big gold dragon wrapped around his neck and coming down his chest.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Some characters, I can barely find 2 good costumes to put them in, and others, like Shang, I'm like, I only have 5 outfit slots. What are you doing to me?
Yeah. And you know what? Like, the default shader is like the coat and armor is like red and black with gold trim, and then he's got like golden brown pants. And I think it's the color of the pants that evoke Deadly Alliance to me the most. But, like, he has other shaders, and one of them is, like, just straight black with gold trim, and it looks MK2 as fuck, and it looks great.
Shang. One of the best things about Aftermath. I can't
He
wait to
really
get to story
is.
mode. I really can't wait to get to story mode. It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's a hot
To get
take.
into the story mode spoiler cast, we are going to be gushing so hard about Kari Tagawa the whole time.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
Not everything about Aftermath story is perfect, but holy shit.
No, you know
Hold
what?
on for Shang Tsung.
It's like there's 1/5 of it that I think we're all going to complain about, and then 4/5 was great.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a thing. And I mean, like, it's such a thing. It's like Fujin. It's like, you know what would be really cool? If Carrie came back for the next game, right? And there was, like, all this story shit that he got to do. That would be so sick. And it's like, it had kind of happened. Thank you.
It did happen. You know what? Is the shame of it is that I can't go back now. Like,
No.
if MK12 has Shang and it's not Kari, I'm done with Shang.
Like, yeah, this was Shang. This is how you do it.
There's no recovery from this. He just has to play Shang forever, like fucking Epcar plays Raiden.
I mean, if he doesn't come back, I'll gladly take the Scorpion's Revenge guy.
He was all right. He doesn't compare.
I know.
Yeah, he's
I know.
He's no Carrie. And also, like, I mean, it gets icky because it's like, I mean, you could still use that likeness if Carrie can't come back for whatever reasons, which would be really sick, maybe, if they could work that out somehow.
I feel like that'd be kind of fucked up.
It's hard, I know. It's icky.
That'd be really fucked up. I don't want to see Carrie's face and to have it someone else's mouth, like voice coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I can't hear somebody else's voice. Like, you know what? Carrie's voice is more important than Carrie's face.
I would probably agree. His delivery is so fucking good.
I'd rather hear Carrie's voice in someone else's face than Carrie's face with someone else's voice.
That's the way I feel too. It's not
the trick.
Not to say that I dislike old man version of Carrie. It does look good.
Old Man Carrie is one of the best Carries too.
Yes. But there have been really cool ass alternate, old man Shang looks, and you could go a different way. But if you could keep Carrie's voice somehow, that would be for the best. He's optimal. He's the best Shang.
That's the part
It's
that's
not
tough
even
because that's the part
close.
you can't keep reusing, unfortunately, is his performances. That's the sad part, right? That's what you want, so so I'm glad that they let's just carry the fuck out of this game. And they did.
2020, the year of Shang.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time, right?
It is. It really is.
Yes.
I can't even I think back to how upset I was about Shang getting punked out in 9, and I can't even really remember it anymore. Carrie.
What I love is how
It's
he
like
gets
staring
revenge.
at the sun. It's blinding, and then you can't look at anything else.
We're talking about story mode next time, but I just want to say right now how much I love him getting revenge for blank, blankety blank by blankety blank, blankety blank their asses. God, that made me so fucking happy.
It did.
Oh,
that was good times, man.
Blank.
You can say he carries the game. God damn it.
Well
Thank you,
done.
You know what? You know what?
Well done.
That's
beautiful.
Carries
fuck
the game.
you.
It's Snake Eyes. Shout outs to you.
Well done, sir.
I'm not
God
giving you a
damn it.
prize, but that was good.
Are there any other data mine leaks? Ash's files are gone.
Yeah, Ash is definitely not happening anymore.
Yeah, rip in fucking peace.
I would love to know the story. Like, was it him or was it Sam?
I want to say it was Sam. There's record of Sam being an anus about it.
Was
With,
it Dead by Daylight?
No,
No.
it could have been Dead by Daylight, but there is record of Sam being kind of protective and an asshole about the property with the Freddy vs. Jason sequel.
Yeah, that's why that never happened. Which, like, it's weird because you hear the story and they tell it like, well, we didn't want to do it if Ash wasn't going to win. And in the script, Ash does win!
Yeah.
I don't really
You know
give
what,
a
I really-
shit. Do-da.
I honestly believe they just make up excuses to hide the fact that Sam wanted more money.
Probably, yeah.
Dodged a bullet.
I disagree.
Well, I mean, what's the replacement going to be, though? That bullet's going to come right back like a boomerang, bitch.
I think you have to replace him in a RoboCop.
You know,
maybe.
Right around the same time that, like, fucking Nightwolf and Sheeva and all this stuff was.
You know what? There have been a lot of disproven leaks about what Aftermath and Afterward would have, and several of them mentioned RoboCop, or not RoboCop, Rambo.
Oh,
And
Christ, Jesus.
you know, I don't see it happening, but if it did, because Schwarzenegger's already technically in here, I'm okay with Stallone.
I mean, like I said, I would take Doomslayer. The
I don't know, man.
I mean, the thing is, Doomslayer would be a standalone reference to just, hey, people like Doom right now. That's fine. But I like the theme they have going on of, like, 80s movie guys.
I don't know, man. Like, what
Michael
are you gonna
Myers
do?
is the guy, yeah.
Like PTSD stance where he cries and cries about all the
It
war
would be
buddies he lost?
sequels Rambo, where he was just an action guy fighting, like, people in a jungle.
Man, that's fucking boring.
Watch, he just blows someone's legs off, then he just stares at them for a few seconds and starts breaking down.
I don't think Rambo would have good moves.
No, he wouldn't have good moves.
No.
He
Might
would just
have
need good guns.
Like, I'm
knives.
not advocating for Rambo. I'm just saying that of the options, like, I don't want Michael fucking Myers.
No, fuck Michael Myers.
I mean, but, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if I would
Well,
rather
this
have
isn't a horror
Rambo.
movie game. We already had the game where all the guests were horror movies. This is not that game. Move on from it.
Another Spawn type would be nice.
Another Mortal Kombat character would be nice.
Another
Judge
edgy
Dredd.
90s indie superhero character?
Judge Dredd would work for Spawn and RoboCop.
Jason David Frank's probably not happening Partitolo.
If they
but,
ever do
I
a
mean,
Power
that would be
Ranger,
tight.
it'll be Injustice, not Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, if there's a Power Ranger that's hella Injustice.
There's no
as
way
much as I
that-
wish.
Power Rangers would never come within a 10-foot pole of the violence in an MK game.
I mean,
want-
I would play him. I would play the
want-
fuck out of him.
I just mean, like, the corporate, the owners
right.
would never want to be associated with a game where you could, like, see Tommy's intestines.
Yes.
That's not
I want-
happening. But
I want to put
Judge
you
Dredd
all
would be
on-
an idea.
I want to put you all on the end of 10-foot poles for having these opinions.
I mean,
Hey, yeah, Dude, get Stallone to do Judge Dredd.
Oh my fucking god.
hating you
Two
all.
for one.
God damn it! I'd rather have the other guy.
Well, but he's not coming.
rather-
We're spitballing about ideas because we're probably gonna get another guest.
Well,
Just
Carl
throwing
Urban was a good
on.
dread, but he's not the law.
He said the law though in the movie.
But he didn't say it like that.
He said the thing, man.
How did he say it?
I am the law.
The law.
That's how he said it. It is. You're right.
I am the law.
The law.
Yeah, you gotta make it more slack jawed, dude. No!
The law.
Okay,
Laughing
that's tight.
despite
I'm
myself.
having fun.
I think we need to call it. Are we done? Was there anything else?
Aw.
Might need to call it.
What about Demolition Man?
Stop talking!
You know, they're making a sequel. They have one to promote.
Can we do Steel?
DC does own the character. I don't think you're gonna get Shaq.
He's got a hammer, and it would be tight. Get Shaq as fuck. Yeah, you can't do Steel without Shaq. That's
Maybe
what I
let's
mean.
save that one for Injustice 3.
Okay, Dwayne Johnson it is. Get him.
Dude, it could be a Shao Kahn skin.
Get Dwayne Johnson right now.
No.
As
no,
himself.
No Dwayne Johnson's. Fuck that shit.
Do it.
I thought Dwayne Johnson was Black Adam, though.
I'm going to have a cigarette now.
All right, I think we can wrap it up. Django, you're the one controlling the recording. You want to take us out?
All right, listen, everybody. This was a good episode, and we got some.
Let me tell you how to feel about us.
This is how I end every Warrior Shrine. I don't know if you know. Listen, this is a thing. This was a good one. I'm telling you.
I didn't even notice.
That's how good it was. You didn't
Look,
have
you
to
might
stop and
think
think
it
about
wasn't a good one. You're wrong. It was a good one.
It was a good one. I enjoyed it. You'd listen to all these bitches laughing. Sometimes for laughing. Whatever. It was a good episode.
I had a good time.
So did I.
And we were mostly positive, which is rare for us.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. It was a good episode because we got some good content to talk about. It's really
got
good content.
We actually got hype. Imagine that.
Hype.
I have to say, like, most of Aftermath's content, thumbs up. I didn't expect to care this much about a DLC pack.
Get this, I've been playing Guilty Gear games for like the past 2 weeks, and I'm not burning to go back to them. I want to keep playing MK for a little while. I'm enjoying myself.
There's Fujin. There's carry skins. There's it's good shit. I wish that this happened more often. I do. There's shit that's so good and juicy, and it just makes you hype and excited and fun. Go play it right now. Thank you for listening, everybody. As Razor says, good night, nerds.
It says later, nerds.
I
Not
do
good
say
night,
later,
nerds.
Fix it.
You know what? See you next time, dorks.
I'll see you at the change machine.
Good night. I'm taking a nap.
Night, everyone.
Bye.